Secretary General mentioned that this organization has been looking at climate change since 2003, which is really long before it became a popular issue, long before the scientists told us that it is now convincingly proven that there is climate change, long before Sir Nicholas Stern produced his report which identified the economic drama that climate change can be, long before Bono and the other TV stars were singing concerts for climate change, long before Al Gore received his Oscar or his Nobel Peace Prize. And I don't say that to say that we're particularly clever. The reason for this is that the Secretary General is also the deputy mayor of a small village in the French Alps, and he actually saw the snow disappearing. But tourism has been selling climate of one kind or another since it began. And suddenly we find ourselves with a base product which is being changed. Based on the discussions in Djerba in 2003, we held a second international conference on tourism and climate change quite recently in October in Davos, Switzerland. It wasn't just UNWTO, but it included the United Nations Environment Programme and the United Nations World Meteorological Organizations. In other words, the Tourism Agency, the Environment Agency, and the climate scientists came together. We held it in Davos quite deliberately because it's symbolic of the World Economic Forum and big business. And in fact, the World Economic Forum, for the first time in their history, they partnered with an organization in order to sort of address this problem. The Davos Declaration made a series of recommendations to governments, to the industry, to the networks and communications networks, including the media, and to consumers about how they will have to change their behavior, how we will have to measure our carbon emissions, and how we will have to set targets to reduce them. I've gone into that in some detail because here in Cartagena, one of the key items on the agenda will be for our General Assembly to look at this work, and we believe they will then endorse it, and it will become, in effect, a new charter for the tourism industry to adjust and adapt its operations in the years ahead to become cleaner and, in fact, we believe, more responsible in their operations. At the same time, the Secretary General, who sits on the board of directors of the UN Secretary General, is one of only a small handful of agencies who sit on that board, will be going to Bali and will be presenting at that big intergovernmental meeting the position of the tourism sector. And he's been working with the UN Secretary General to make sure that tourism is contained in the proposals from the UN Secretary General for that meeting.